Hello adventurers, this is Miss Megan with Warrensburg Adventure Club, and today I'm going to show you how to make a mini Zen garden. So what is a Zen garden? Zen gardens, also called Japanese rock gardens, are a great way to relax. Buddhist monks created the first Zen garden to aid in meditation. This was way back in the 6th century. In these gardens, plants are kept to a minimum, and instead they use stones and other objects and place them on carefully raked sand. Vertical objects can represent trees, while horizontal objects can represent water, as well as the ripple pattern in the sand. Now for our Zen garden, we're going to make something really small that you can put on a desk or on top of your dresser at home, so you don't have to worry about planting anything in your Zen garden. Instead, I want you to find tiny objects that make you feel happy and calm, maybe something that have memories attached to them. So for example, I have this little lava rock skull that a friend got me for my birthday, so I like to put this in my Zen garden. And I have shells, so any little things that you find in nature, just in general, anything that makes you feel happy and peaceful looking at it, that's what we want to go for with our Zen garden. You will need some kind of tray. You can even use a disposable plate if you wanted to. It just has to be able to hold our sand in a flat surface. In order to make your cool patterns in your sand, you need some kind of rake. So I think a disposable fork works just fine. Feel free to get creative and make your own. Now speaking of sand, colored sand can be a little bit expensive, so I'm going to show you how to make your own colored sand using food coloring and salt. Alright, with all that being said, let's get to it and I'll show you what I'm doing for my Zen garden. First, I'm going to show you how you would make your own colored sand using your salt and food coloring. Pour your salt into your plastic bag. I'm not measuring here, just pouring in what I think is a good amount, but if you wanted to measure, I'd say 1 to 1.5 cups is about what you want. Next, put in your food coloring. A little goes a long way, so start with just a few drops. I started with green, but I'm going to add blue later to create a pretty teal color. After you've put in your food coloring, you want to knead it into your salt. Try to get most of the air out of the bag before you seal it up. Knead your sand until the color is thoroughly mixed, and add more color as you see fit. Again, a little food coloring goes a long way, so I wouldn't add more than 6 or 7 drops in total. At this point, you'll need to leave your colored sand/salt dry for the next few days. You can keep it in your bag and leave the bag open, kneading it at least once a day, or you can spread it out on a baking sheet and let it dry overnight. Once you've gotten your sand ready, it's time to make our Zen garden. You'll need to find some sort of flat tray for your garden. You could use a cheap serving tray from the dollar store, a shoebox lid, an extra plate, whatever you can find. We'll start by pouring our sand into our tray. Now we want to gently shake it back and forth to flatten it out. There are a lot of different ways for us to etch in our sand, but I'm going to show you 2 different ways today. As far as your selection of objects, you want to find small items that hold some sort of meaning or significance to you. Here are some of the objects I've chosen as an example. Make your garden unique to you. For the first sand etching method, we'll etch into our sand before adding any of our objects. Here, I'm using my fork to create a ripple effect, sort of like waves crashing into a beach. After I've done that, I place my objects in such a way that makes sense to me. Remember, we don't want to clutter our garden too much. It's supposed to be simple and serene. For this example, I'm placing my objects mostly in the corners of my garden. For our second method, we can place our items first and then etch around them, using the other end of our fork or any other pointed object you may have. This also gives a water-like effect, as the ripples emanate from our objects. Again, there are many different ways you can rake your sand, so feel free to get creative. Do whatever gives you a sense of peace and relaxation. For this example, I'm etching lines coming out of my little Buddha statue, creating a sense of focus and power. Zen gardens can be ever-changing. Change up your Zen garden whenever you want to take some time to relax. This could be every day, or it could be once a week. Have fun exploring your options. Alright, adventurers, I hope you enjoyed this activity. I hope you keep your little Zen garden and you rearrange it whenever you want to. Just take some time for yourself and focus on something that isn't everything crazy that's happening in the world. They're a lot of fun and they bring me at least a lot of peace, and I hope they bring you peace as well. So until next time, this has been Miss Megan with Warrensburg Adventure Club. Have a great day.